A pleasant morning to each and every one of you. I'm here to discuss the managing labor relations. So, under that, we have the role of labor unions in the organization. First is the labor relations, next is the labor union, and last is the collective bargaining. So, first, we're going to tackle the labor relations. What is labor relations? In the process of dealing with employees who are represented by a union. And to be more clear, it is the relationship between the management of a company or organization on its workforce. From the word itself, relations. It is where the relationship of an employee through their leader or the manager of the company. It is where they interact, they have the relationship with each other. It is where they made contact. That's why they have the relationship. And then next one is the labor union. What is labor union? It is a legally constituted group of individuals working together to achieve shared job related goals, including higher pay and shorter working hours. Here in the Philippines, we have that, it is the so-called union in Tagalog. It is where in a workplace, it is a group of workers wherein they elected representatives, to be exact, their co-workers to be the representative of their union. And that union is the one who is responsible to talk to the managers or something who is higher than them in the management. So they can say, and if there is anything wrong, if there is something that they want to say, it'll go through the labor union, and then the labor union is going to say that appeal to the manager in the management. And the next is we have the collective bargaining. What is collective bargaining? It is the process by which managers and unions leaders to negotiate acceptable terms and conditions of employment for those workers represented by the union. Like what I said kanina, we have there the manager and the labor unions wherein they interact, they have the relationships, and while interacting, they are giving their terms wherein they are communicating and they're doing something to benefit both sides. It can benefit the manager and it can also benefit the labor unions. It is where they bargain. It is the process wherein they don't want to be unfair on each side, because we all know, we all know that people tends to be uh, in full of interest. We have here the conflict of interest. Both sides have the conflict of interest, which is there is this collective bargaining for them to bargain, to know which side can benefit. Both sides should be. And then we have the historical outline of unionization in the United States. We have here the 750 up to 1800s. It is the many small craft unions. And what is the craft unions? Craft unions, they are the earliest unions in the United States during the Revolutionary War. They are the small groups, many small groups, which is composed by different kind of industry workers. And then we have here the 1825 up to 1850. These are wherein a significant unit that appeared within 19th century. There is this union groups which has a significant to the 19th century. We have here the National Typographical Union, the United Cigar Makers, the National Union of Iron Molders, and so on. And then we have here the Knights of Labor. What is the Knights of Labor? For them, it was important, and it is an early union that expanded its goals, its membership, to include workers in numerous fields rather than a single industry. This type of uh, union is, it doesn't care what race you are. And then we have here the American Federation of Labor, wherein it is also an early union, and it focuses on the efforts to improve working conditions. And then we have the Congress of Industrial Organizations. Who are they? This union focus on organizing employees. And then we have here the AFL-CIO. It is the combination of American Federation of Labor and Congress of Industrial Organization, which you can find in 1886 and 1935. Why did we have AFL-CIO? It is because the two union groups combined, they merged, to be exact, to consolidate their strength for them to be greater than any other union members. So we have here the union organizations. Like before, we have the three: the Knights of Labor, Congress of Industrial Organization, and American Federation of Labor. So first is the Knight of Labor. It is an important early group that expanded its goals and its membership to include workers in numerous fields rather than a single industry. It is wherein this union accepts different kinds of workers from different kinds of industries, from different kinds of race you are, what you are. They are going to accept you for you just to be a member of their union. They doesn't care who you are, what color you are, what industry you belong, as long as they want you to be part of that union. And this Knight of Labor, like what I said earlier, they have these diverse groups. They are made of diverse groups because they don't care what kind of races you've been. So with that diverse group, they also have different kinds of interest, which is why there is a conflict of interest, and there is a meeting held in May 4, 1886, wherein the Knights of Unions disappeared from the labor scene because it is where they dissolve because they fight with each other. And wherein that 1886, as you can remember before, it is where the American Federation of Labor starts to grow up. As the Knights of Labor falls down, the American Federation of Labor is boosting up. And then we have the American Federation of Labor. It is also an early union, and mostly it focuses its efforts on improving working conditions and better employment contracts rather than getting involved in the gift of political activities. So it is wherein this group focused more on the working condition. They they want to produce more and more rather than the other one. The Knights of Labor is more likely to be held with their knives. They want to be violent. While this American Federation of Labor is a union which avoided legislative and political activities. They just focused to improve the working condition and to make a better employment contract with their employee. And they also focus on exclusively on the business of unions, wherein if these industries just focus on steel, then they're going to focus on steel. If this industry focus on automobiles, they will focus on automobiles. If this industry focus on agriculture, they will focus on agriculture. Then next we have the Congress of Industrial Organization. This union group focus on organizing, employees by industry regardless of their craft, skills, or occupation. It is wherein this union, they want to improve and focus like before, like the AFL, but this one only focused on the craft, skills, or occupation, most likely the agriculture industry. And the next is we have the AFL, the CIO, like what I said earlier. They're the combined group unions of AFL, American Federation of Labor, and the Congress of Industrial Organizations, because they want to have a greater strength. So they merge. Both have the similar goals, which is to improve industrial for improve different kinds of industry for the American Federation, and to improve the craft industrial in the Congress of Industrial Organizations. Then we have next is the National Labor Relations Act, or the Wagner Act. It is passed in an effort to control and legislate collective bargaining between organizations and labor unions, to grant power to labor unions, and to put unions on a more equal footing with managers in terms of their rights of employee. From the meaning itself, telling us that this Wagner Act only sides on the workers or on the unions, because this act is covering or protecting the labor unions, and they want these labor unions to have an equal rights, or like in here, the equal footing with the managers. They want the workers or the labor unions to be with the exact same position or same level of the managers, and they want the rights of the employee to be wonderful. Next is we have the National Labor Relations Board. Who are they? They are the overseas federal organization that establish the conduct of the union organization business. More likely, this is a type of board wherein if there is something that has to be discussed with the boards, it is where it happened. The National Labor Relations Board. And then we have the Labor Management Relations Act, or the Taft-Hartley Act. This one curtails and limits union power and regulates union action and their internal affairs in a way that puts them on equal footing with management and organization. As what the Wagner Act wants to do is to make the labor unions equal footing with the manager or the management in the organization. This Taft-Hartley Act limits the union's power. They want to show that the management still has the more power than the labor union, because the labor union is just, for them, is just a worker and they are still the bosses. So this is where the act covering. And then we have Eugene V. Debs. He is the leader of American Railway Union, a Pullman Palace company, and he became the leader of Socialist Party, and he also ran for candidacy for President of the United States, just so as we know. Next is we have the closed shop, union shop agreement, and the agency shop agreement. The closed shop refers to a workplace in which only workers who are already union members, even hired by the employers. It is, like from the word itself, closed shop. The workers in this shop is only closed and limited for those people who are already member of an union. Just that simple. The workers in that organization is just all of them must be a union member. And if you're applying and if you are not a union, still you're not a union member, then they were not going to hire you. And then next is we have the union shops agreement. This includes the various types of union security agreement. In addition to a requirement that a non-union member can be hired, although he or she must join the union within a specific time to give his or her job. From before, the closed shop is all about hiring members which are, or workers which are already a member of union. This union shop agreement is wherein, yes, they will hire you, but we're just going to give you time for you to be a member of union. And if you didn't and can't comply with my requirements, then I'm sorry, but we're going to fire you. And the next we have the agency shop agreement. It is one wherein employees can decide whether or not to join the union certified at the boarding again. But if the employee decides not to join, he or she still pay a fee roughly equal to the ounce of union dues. This agency shop agreement is wherein you have choice. You can be a member of a union or you can be not. But I'm going to remind you that if you still doesn't become a member of a union, then you're still going to pay the amount of those people who are paying or who are a member of union. So they're like, yes, you can be not non-member of a union, but you're just still going to pay the amount they are paying. So it is your choice. Next, we have the John L. Lewis. Who is he? John L. Lewis. He is from United Mine Workers, who led a dissenting faction of the AF of L that formed new generation called Congress of Industrial Organization. So he's from the AF of L. Remember that? From the American Federation of Labor. He's from that union. Then he decided to make a new form of union, which is in the form of Congress of Industrial Organization. And the next is we have, we still have here the Congress of Industrial Organizations as an additional information. This is a type of organization wherein it focuses on the crafts, what I've said earlier, from the automobile, mining, steel, and etc. By early 1940s, it's almost has 5 million members. Because in this industry, they are focusing more, and they want to recruit more and more and more members, which you can see has a high boost for them. Okay, so the Industrial Workers of the World, or the IWW, consisted mostly of unskilled workers and advocated extreme violence as labor disputes. So that means they are too violent enough excuse me, too violent enough from other employees. In here, there are many people who were killed during the strikes organized by the Wobbies. Who were the Wobbies? Who killed many people? Wobbies are the members of IWW. What I've mentioned earlier, they are the industrial workers of the world, which curtails with the violence as their work dispute. Here we have here the trends in union membership. And if we're going to talk about the trends here in our topic, it is not all about the trending thing, the popular. No, it's not. We're not talking about the popular here. The trend we're talking about here is a process of organizing employees. In unions in United States, 1954, it is a peak of employees who are members of unions, wherein in 2015, they got a difficulty in attracting a new members. And then, in here, men are likely to be a union members than women. It has a percentage of 11.5 versus 10.6%. Next, we have here the black employees are most likely the members of unions with 14.5%. And then the white men is the next, which is 11.5%, 9.4% for the Latino, and 9.2% for Asian men. Union membership rates are ages 45 up to 54 years of age yan, ha. And then we have here the protective service organization, for example, the police and education had the highest unionization rate. Trends in union management, gradual decline in unionization in the United States. In here, we're talking about the union management, how the management and union organize their employees, how their relationship goes. So in here, there is a gradual decline in the unionization in the United States. The automobile and steel industries still have a large membership of unions. You remember the industries of world, what is that? The IWW, the industrial workers of the world. They has the highest members, the largest group in the union industry. It is the automobile and steel industries, which is, yeah, they have the large membership, and they still have a strong union bond. Then next we have here, labor unions are in a weakened position. So why are they in a weakened position? It is because they have the weakened position because of they recognize themselves as once have a power wherein they can held for their interest. Yeah, so they have the power as they once held before, and for the interest of the workers too. But as they can say, they already gone it up. Next is the UAW, or the United Auto Workers. Who are the United Auto Workers? They are one of the strongest union in the United States. And even though none of this means that unions are dead or even aren't struggling for some basic issues, they are not. And sometimes management shifts jobs to lower paying regions to reduce the rising pace for the workers. So they're going to shift into different kinds of place wherein the rates of the payment or wages are just low. So with that, they're not going to pay you more. And sometimes they are also letting those workers work overtime, even if they are not paid for it. I have here an example. I was once a Jollibee crew, wherein after we worked, we have here the Kaigo thing, the clean as you go. And then what my Kaigo is, I'm going to pack some spoon and forks, 100. And then because it is a peak month for us, because it's month of December, there are many Christmas parties going to be held. We're supposed to pack 300 packs of spoon and fork. And while packing of it, it takes time, and we are not paid for it. So it is what we call the charity. Next is we have the trends in bargaining perspective. So there is an issue where is a usual increased benefits for the union members. As we all know, those union members or the labor unions wants to have an increase, especially for the benefits of the workers. Next is we have the now, especially this era, they have here the different kinds of goals already. The first benefit is the job security, because they want to be secured whenever they go. They want that kind of security. And then the restriction of job movement. It is popular for other types of work wherein they're going to send you into other different kinds of countries, different kinds of place just to do the work. So it is what they want, the restriction of job movement. They want it to stop, and just if I was destined to work in this place, then I'm just going to work in this place. No work in other places. Yeah. Next is we have the result, and it result to the organization downsizing and several years of low inflation in the country. Then they do fight for wage cuts rather than wage increase. And the organization might be prone to agree for the healthcare and other benefits of the workers. So they don't want to agree for the healthcare. They doesn't want the benefits of the healthcare thing. Okay, so and with that, because of that, the labor unions strategy is to preserve what they currently have. So it is their strategy. Kasi baka mamaya mawala pa daw. Yan. So that's all. Then next, we're going to have the 11.3. Thank you.